So I'm going to share we can go back to the Aman Mosque.
Yes.
Yeah, so right now I am sharing my screen of the pictures. So this is the facade.
Yes.
Yeah, so perhaps could you tell us what's the idea? Perhaps the intention first of the project, as you mentioned.
Yes. So actually, the mosque is actually the mosque is faced to the Kaaba, the Makkah, to the Makkah. So the west wall is usually solid. No light can come from the west. Actually, it should be solid. So we have some dotted skylight from there. So the right side is the west, and the entry is from the other side. On the left side is the east. And the perforation, you can see the east is the most perforated, and the perforation go lower. That is the darkest place where the light comes from the roof. The wall light is from the other three sides. The east is the maximum. Up, yes. It is the face of the The left one is the west. The right one is the east, and you can see some perforation in the roof. In the roof. So the west facing thing, and it's a symmetrical. It's a 4 cube of you understand. I think 40 feet. Feet you understand? No? Feet is like feet. We work here in feet. So 40 feet by 40 feet cube. 4 cube are placed with a gap where this was the cross growing vault are intersect, and the skylight is there. The skylight is there, and this entrance is very low. It's like 7 feet, like 2.1 meter sort of thing. So it will seem a little bit low, like entering a cave. Once you enter, there is a big singular space inside. So it was everywhere. It is very low, above just my head, or if I stretch my hand upward, that was the drop ceiling. And it will look like a floating. Other three side is almost glass. The glass are folded, slided. It can be collapsed to the one side, and it is like a tree shade above the prayer space without a trunk. It seems so sort of thing, and it's every time it's as Bangladesh is a tropical one. We no need to have close the windows, except in the evening and the late night prayer, that is Isha prayer, because the mosquito of the surrounding is not clean yet. There are some bushes and other thing. For the mosquito, we need the air protection. But even in the deep rain, it works fine because the rain comes from the above. This is the northeast or southeast corner is the same, and the lower thing, and it is there is nothing inside. It's just hollow a square, 80 feet by 80 feet square, and a circular ambulatory space is there, because ambulatory space is very, very primitive ritual to man. So we kept that, the ambulatory one below the circle, the greenery we have, and we have some, the mosque needs some facilities like ablution, the toilet, a room for the being imam. So that was, you can see a small arc in the lower side. That is the lighting space or ventilation space for the toilet and other things. Yes. That's the thing. And also you can see the minaret. At the top of the minaret, that is the metal dome. Actually, we had a shipbuilding factory just beside. That is the wastage of the shipbuilding factory. And we got it for free. And we just want to, because it's a concrete building. The cement came from the factory and the stone from somewhere or other. So it was not, the cement, the concrete is a bad material for sustainable, not sustainable. But as it is within a cement factory, We got the cement almost free of cost and other things. So the local material, everything is local, the metal, the other grating, and everything is from within the site.
Yes.
Yes, this is the clear story lighting come from the wall and other things. It's a very simple, typical structure, not a very, very intricate one.
So I'm just wondering, what's the intent behind the triangle shape? What's the decision behind making a triangle rather than other shapes?
No, actually, the triangular shape is less practiced. I just wanted to have some perforation, maximum in the west, and then gradually come and lesser to the maximum in the east and gradually come to the west.
Yes.
So the triangular thing, I actually tried. All the mosques are typically squares embedded within circle. So the third one, can it be incorporated, the triangle? Because the circle, and if the square is there, the triangle is difficult to incorporate it within a square form or something like that. So in the elevation, I tried that this can be a new one, and it can be it can make a gradual pattern which is less practiced. And then I tried with the triangle, or a bit it become a hexagon. It's a derivation of circle actually.
Yes.
But it's from hexagon and then it's circle.
I see it now. Okay. That's interesting. Yes.
Yes.
What was your intention in making this building in this shape? So, for example, most of the mosques that I know kind of continuing this traditional path that they use, like this half domes and like.
Yes. I intentionally Yes. I intentionally actually what I believe that a mosque, because Islam doesn't like idealization. Idealization, this means something like that. There is only one thing, that is the ideal one. So any vocabulary or just I want to come out from this certain thing actually, because the experiencing the space is the main thing. What he feels once he enter, he discarded from the outside world, a circular periphery. Then it's a what can be told. It's a mental udud. It's called oju. You understand? Oju is ablution. It's a mental ablution of the mind actually. So here we have two layers of mental ablution. That is important thing in architecture, rather than a symbol. That experience, the man will experience the thing, and it's not for publishing in Arc Daily. It's to be experienced. The mosque is the place, is to be experienced. It might get a good picture or not, or might get a good video, but once you, because you can see the right side is building, that is a packaging building. The industrial, there is a bit noise. So it's an industrial zone. You have to purify or prepare the man to for prayer. So this was here his transition. That is most important thing than idealization. It would be a just bare box if he get that experience. That is more important to me, not just a shaping. That can be shaped if it was if in a green land. I can think otherwise.
Sure.
You got my point, I think.
Yes, but you know, this combination of this geometrical shapes and the circle. Leona, can you bring the picture from the bird's eye view, the upside? I think it was.
Yes.
We have one from the sky. So here. So we can see that this combination is a bit complex, and I was okay. So I was saying that this complex combination, it was so interesting, and I want to know the intention and the approaches that you have to make this such a unique shape. So we see this four zone and this cubic shape that's kind of remind me of the Kaaba. I don't know if you have this intention
Yes,
as well or no.
of course.
So we have
Yes, of
this
course.
central part of the minimalistic type of prayer room or prayer element for Muslims, and you have this circle around it, this yard around it, and this uh, hill of green grass. So can you explain a bit how you come up with this idea and how this shape formed during your design process?
Okay, yes, of course. Actually, the square, it's come from the Kaaba facing the west and another thing. Okay, and what I took from Kaaba, the Kaaba is the only Muslim prayer space which has ambulatory path, and I want to implement that path along the road, because our traditional mosque, what lacks? It lacks private prayer space. It's a common prayer space. It's fine. It's the 5 times a day. That prayer, it is mainly meant to build. But the people, it's a social space. Mosque is a social space, because if you can see in the history, you can see that the other thing, even jurisprudence and other thing, marriage and other thing, all happened in the mosque. It was a social space. It's a cultural space, and it's also a private space. I can contemplate in a corner, sitting not in the main prayer space. In big space, I might be lost. The ambulatory space, you can find some picture that people are sitting in idly sitting or something thinking. It's a personal prayer space. The ambulatory space is like that personal prayer space. So it get a buffer from the outside, as well as uh, uh, personal space is there. So I want to. Uh, there might be something. It's not always sitting or standing. Man can walk and ambulatory and thinking of something. So another activity space is around the mosque, which is confirming the main function. Actually, it's not contradictory. So that's how the circle came. And the square, what I think in the deep middle of the square, the penetration of light is important for the spiritual space. Light should come from that above the cross grid. So I subdivided the square into 4 square with a 3-meter gap inside, and the cross wall. Some light come from the side wall also. Sorry. Okay. And the squares are measured 40 feet by 40 feet, and it is also lifted from the ground 7 feet up, uh, and it is a 40 feet by 40 feet by 40 feet 4 cube, placing others. So it's a subdivision process to bring the light inside, and also from structural purpose also. So and it got just 1 minute. Huh? Wait, just 1 minute.
Yes, absolutely. And Bayejid, you have this kind of minimalistic modern approach. You brought this kind of parametric design into your facade.
Yes.
What was the reaction of the people and your clients to this approach for a mosque? And I like to mention that this project done
approach,
in
yes,
2018, so it wasn't that common to build parametric facade as well for this project.
Okay, what it was very difficult to make the client understand with 3D, but he has a belief on me. I told him that it will be good if you experience, because he is a very pious person, and actually in 3-dimensional visualization, the quality of space or experiential thing is not apparent. Actually, you understand that. You understand
Yes,
that.
yes.
So
Yes, yeah.
just excuse me for 1 minute. 1 minute. Just
Sure.
Just I will give.
Sure.
So if you cut the section, actually you can see the dome inside. So
Yes,
kind of
yes. Exactly. And Leonard, why Bayejid is busy, I like to mention that.
No. Yes. I can. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I want to explain to Leonard and our future viewers that in Islam, you can't have like a painting or a sculpture of people
Yes.
or faces. So that's the reason
Yes.
why Muslim developed so much in tiling and geometrical shapes. So if you look inside every like mosque, you see that they only use these geometrical shapes or like writings from the Quran, or you
I
can see
see.
this colorful window. So that's the reason you can't have the similar
This
approach as a church
minimalism,
in the
right?
mosque. Yeah, that's so different.
Yeah, quite opposite of the Catholic faith, right? The Catholic buildings, Christian buildings.
Yeah, so I like to mention that that is the reason why you see so many geometrical design in mosques. And the base of the dome was because they want to like build a place to have this capacity for large like people to pray. So back then they didn't have the structure. So I'm talking about like 1,000 years ago. They didn't have this structure to make like this big space. So when you use brick, the dome shape is the like most sustainable way to make this large space without any columns in the middle.
Yes.
That's where it's come from.
It's
Okay, I am back. Yes.
That's good.
You can continue.
Okay.
Yes, we were talking about these sections and how you brought the dome inside, the feeling of this.
Inside, yes. Yeah. It's a sphere, actually. It's a sphere. It's a spherical. The dome, the curve can you feel in the both section, in the cross section, the transverse and longitudinal section. The structure was explained in the previous slide. You can see how two plates are placed and the other thing was yes.
I think
And
it's
have you get any like reaction from the people that were inside here?
Yes. Because it's an unusual one, and whoever went inside, they feel a bit. It will be not good to say unearthly experience, but it's a different experience. So in other mosques, they don't find that. Actually, in the typical mosque of like that with the decoration, the inside is not that much of the thing like other building inside like a office space or something, a enclosed space, not that connection and other experiential difference was not there. So it make the difference there. So who once visited, they're very fond, but and for good photography, it got some popular view, but whoever went within the mosque, everybody liked them.
Yes.
Everybody.
Yes.
Because the experience was very nice. The light, the other thing. It was someone told me that it like a prepared stage, but without any light, but well lit and other things. This atmospheric experience is different.
Yes.
So that was the main point of this mosque actually.
Actually, I think this type of minimalistic interior with this type of light design gives you the most spiritual level of experience when you are praying.
Sure, of course.
Rather than if you make it so busy with colors, they catch your focus from yourself and like your prayers. So
I think it is also really aligned with the modernist principle where they strip you strip the design with too much ornamentation and focus on the space and the experiential part of the structure. So
yes, yes. There actually you have to focus with yourself, not in the object on as other thing. The light and other thing you will uh, you place in the center stage, and you are the actor. You decide, and you are the thing. So the distracting things are not there. If you can only look above, and that is purposeful with your purpose in that space. So I think that this minimalistic approach here is a bit modernist one. Yes, that confirmed with more modernism, but actually it confirms mainly with Muslim thinking of the spirit, the spaces actually, spiritual spaces. Some Muslims, when they got rich, they made more more ornamentation, more decoration, and other thing came. But here I intentionally didn't do that. Only one scripture in Arabic in the West Wall. That's all. The Arabic scripture, the main principle of Islam was written in the West Wall. That is the only thing I did. But I did some scripture in the circular pathway when he walks. So some excerpt from the Quran is there. So when he walks, he can read the things. I think there one of the picture might be there.
Yeah, I think I
I'm
saw
not
it.
sure.
The one with the golden type
Yes.
interior.
Yes.
Yeah, you can see it here as well.
Perhaps before we move on to the next project, I would like to ask a few more questions. How long did it take you to construct this structure, and how hard was it?
No, the construction engineer was very good. He fully understood the building, and what was the only complaint was the structural thing, the concrete casting. It could be lesser because it could be lesser. The wall could be a little bit less thick and other thing. But the construction, the engineer did the thing. You can see some perforation in the wall to wall. That also the light comes from. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, the engineer was good. I went time to time and other thing, but it was not that bit perfect actually. It's not. It's a handmade thing, almost handmade thing. Some imperfection was there, some misalignment was there, but overall experience is good. It's not. It's not a deliverable product of a machine-made product or something like that. It was the intention. What I want to make. Actually, the wooden shutter was for the triangle. This was not very precise. The concrete surface there, you can see some. There was some moss is there. Some black thing has been happened. But that's the reality. I have to accept that it's not a deliverable product. Actually, it's we are building the product for ourselves. It's not for delivery to someone. So we accepted that, and we didn't make and polish something with that other thing that is that is as grown sort of thing.
But Bayejid, how long did it took to finish this building?
I think 2 years. I think 2 years it took, but there were some other things, the monetary money flow and other things, it disrupted a little bit, not big one. The time also happened here. Yeah, it's before Corona actually. Yeah, it started before Corona.
Yeah, definitely. So I think there's a lot of very thoughtful process in going about in designing this building, and it's almost like an injustice if you just look at it through the pictures. I mean, you were right.
Yes.
This building should be experienced, and the even the placement of the light, the placement of these triangles. When you mentioned that the west light was avoided, I think it all makes sense. I mean, if we didn't listen to that, we might think that it's all just aesthetics and just random stuff, just to try to make it look interesting. But there's more input to it, and there's more thought that goes on into the design of this building.
Yes.
So
Thank you.
I think we should move on to the next project, which is the greenfield of Carupanya Core Factory.
Yes.
Yes.